Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we bring you another episode of Entertainment Banter. My name is Joel.
And I am Matt.
That was very well done.
Thank you. So nice of you to say.
It sounds these are very automated responses from you.
They certainly are.
I couldn't get Matt today, guys, so I got a robot that sounds just like him.
Sounds just like him.
See? It's really good. So anyways, today's topic is going to be Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Drink your wine, stupid.
All right, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What is this? A comic book? A love story about a soldier lost in the woods, and he finds a falcon and nurses it back to health and flies it into, up to its nest.
Yes. You nailed it.
What is Falcon? What is Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Joel?
Well, let's first start out with a falcon is a bird that flies in the air, and it's actually a predator bird. It actually hunts prey.
Does a Winter Soldier
and
take
the Winter
summer vacation?
Soldier is a soldier that was made in the winter.
Oh, he was made in the winter.
I don't know.
But he can fight year-round.
He could. Maybe. It's possible. No, Falcon the Winter Soldier is Marvel's newest TV show on Disney+, and hopefully better than the WandaVision. But
is it Marvel's show, or is it Disney's show disguised as a Marvel thing?
that is yet to be determined.
Well, let's talk about it, Joel.
I wanted to talk about predictions and things like that. What it could be.
Since WandaVision came out, we decided that we really hated it, and we said maybe it was.
I didn't say really hated it. I was just really perturbed by it.
I didn't like it. But we said maybe because we had to wait a week that it lost its momentum, its steam. We should just wait till they all come out and binge it and see if it's any better, right?
Right.
So we decided to do that for Winter Soldier, except I honored the cause and you totally backpedaled. So you know more already
than
I do.
To throw anyone under the bus, yeah, I watched 2 episodes out of the 3 that are out right now.
Yeah.
But yes, I do know more. Yes, you watched 0, so we're not going to talk about the actual episodes or what's in the episode because I don't want. But we can talk. I want to talk.
You're going to ask me questions then because I'm the only one that doesn't know what's going on.
Right. I mean, more or less. First off, we're hoping that it's going to be better than WandaVision.
Sure.
Yum.
It wouldn't be that hard to do, by the way.
No, I guess it wouldn't be. Also, this was the show was supposed to come out before WandaVision. This was supposed to be the first show that they were supposed to release, by the way.
Right.
And not to give anything away, if they did, they would have been better off, to be honest.
I'm sure they would have.
There's a lot of rumors about that Logan, as in Wolverine Logan, will somehow be introduced or mentioned or segue into that in this series. Not saying that it will happen, but supposedly it's like there's a mention of him supposedly coming up. So that's a small thing that could happen.
So they might whisper that
they may just
one guy
in
Canada that claws things.
Maybe.
And that's it.
Maybe.
That's as far as it goes.
It may be as little as
one guy escaped.
We know a guy
compound.
in Canada. We know a guy in Canada. It may be as little as that.
A hairy guy escaped.
Right.
Wow, that's worth watching every minute right there.
Absolutely, because what we found out, what I was really annoyed about, the biggest my annoyance of WandaVision, to be honest, was the fact that it started a QAnon conspiracy theorists of just let's look at all the fucking details. Who cares what the show's about? But it spawned a YouTube frenzy of look at all the Easter eggs, and literally thousands of people posted videos, and it became to the point where why is that why you watch these Marvel shows, just so you can see the connections?
Oh, totally. I gotta see.
Wouldn't you rather want an in-depth story of the feel and everything?
No.
And that is why I think WandaVision did so well, because everybody just wanted to see all the connections and the pieces and the.
Did you say it did well? There's a lot of people that didn't like it.
There's a lot of people who did like it, though.
Oh, of course. All those people like connections.
They like the connections
I can buy them a book. It's called a coloring book, and in some pages they have this thing called Connect the Dots. So maybe when they finally connect all the dots, the difference is in a coloring book, when you connect all the dots, there's a picture that you see at the end. Whereas WandaVision, when you connect all the dots, There's fucking nothing there.
There's nothing there because
There's nothing there.
the seeds are there so they can go back and fix mistakes or.
You actually got dots on different pages that you're supposed to turn and go back to, because that seems to be the only way that their stories are gonna sort of make any sense.
I sort of disagree with that, but anyways, moving on.
Moving on. Winter Soldier, right?
Hopefully,
you're still talking about WandaVision. What is
Wanda Soldier? Hopefully, isn't going to be like that. What are we talking about? Winter Soldier? What are we?
Well, how many episodes are slated? 8, 10?
It's supposed to be, I think, 7, 8, and they're all 49 minutes long. So it's not that weird. 22 minutes, 28 minutes, 44
38 minutes.
Right.
9 seconds. Yeah.
What I'm going to ask, Matt, is what do you think it should be about? It's okay. The last time we saw the Winter Soldier and Falcon together, the shield was handed to Falcon as him becoming the next Captain America, and Bucky given the nod. Like in the comics, we know Bucky is the second Captain America, and then Falcon takes it after him usually. And it was like a skip over because they didn't. I feel like Bucky's not that great of a character. I don't want to watch a movie just based on him, to be honest.
Yeah.
So they skipped over him. They did the nod and everything. So what do you think Winter Soldier should be about? I had my things about it, what I think it's about, but I don't want to say anything making you think like, oh, he's talking about what's actually happening. I don't want you to. So what do you think?
Well, back in the day, if you listen to our pods back in the day, I already kind of speculated it back when we were talking about the last Avengers movie, which is we said based on how they set up the Marvel Universe, what I would call the golden age of Marvel Universe movies.
I love it.
They made it seem like it was Bucky was out because he had gone too dark, and that it in the whole time in the universe, Falcon was more of Cap's right-hand man, like Bucky would have been. So in my opinion, and then in the comics, when they were out in the I can't even say that, like 2000, I don't even remember, like 2008, 10, 15 era, I can't even remember. They had Falcon become Captain America. So that was at the time, that was the modern story as they were filming. So it made sense. So I would imagine that Falcon becomes Cap and Winter Soldier remains Winter Soldier. That's my speculation based on this universe they've created, but nothing makes sense anymore, so they could change it. In all honesty, I hope they make Falcon a gay white man wearing overalls and turn him into Captain America, because that to me would definitely highlight the aspect of the story of Captain America to its core. Because based on any relationships, we all know that comic books as a whole, the whole point of their origin stories is about who and how they have sex. So every book we read, it's about how Peter Parker gets laid. It has nothing to do with anything else. And so same thing with the X-Men, Transformers the same way.
They're called transgenders.
They're called transgenders. So we all know that comic books, the whole point of comic books is to make sure we understand that the most important thing about the characters is how they have sex. So once you understand that, everything else doesn't matter. It could be them going to picnics, fighting giant robots. But as long as I know how they have sex, that to me illustrates how they would disarm a bomb. So
Matt is referring to the newest and latest inclination from Marvel. I'm not sure how real it is at this point, and neither does he. But with the culture we are in, it could possibly be 100% real and coming out soon. They have made Captain America into a gay superhero. Not only is he supposedly gay, but he's also nose piercings, he has overalls. They made his character try to have that flamboyant look. Personally, I think he looks like a lesbian, which would make him gay still, but make him a female.
Joel, because we know how they have sex.
But yeah,
the overalls and the nose ring actually protect him from bullets.
Of course,
better. We're just
going to ignore
off
the
the
fact
trucks.
that he's a militant, and he was formed by the military.
He
served in the military, and he's supposed to be like the manly man of America. You know what I mean? Like he is he is Uncle Sam in a sense. Like he is Uncle Sam protecting us.
And I'm not gonna knock this new Captain America because the old one is just as guilty of it. I mean, when he was fighting the Red Skull, I remember Chris Evans' character saying that, Agent Carter's vagina is what's getting me through this battle right now.
Well, of course, that's a famous line.
Because he said just because I have sex with Agent Carter, I'm able.
He hasn't
to
yet,
do all
though,
of these
Matt.
Miraculous
He
things.
hasn't yet. He didn't do it until he went back in time in Endgame.
Well, then it was so there was the motivation. I have to have sex with Agent Carter.
He could have sex with her.
I could have sex with Agent Carter. I mean, it has to be consensual, right? You can't force it on her.
He wasn't going to.
Even though she was touching his chest the minute he got out of the machine, she's like already groping him. Didn't even give him a second to recover.
That's also because of that line about like teach me how to dance. It wasn't about teaching. Come on, it's euphemism. Come on, we know that.
Right.
But that's not the Winter Soldier. That's not
it was because.
Oh my god.
Because knowing how he was going to have sex, made that movie so much better. It explained the Red Skull.
I need to reel you in.
The Nazis.
I need to reel your ass in and get back to Winter Soldier and Captain America.
I'm sorry. I want to make sure people know that how our heroes have sex is the only thing that matters.
Absolutely. I mean, you should go back to our last pod about cancel culture. Maybe they should listen to this too about like how that's all we want to know now about our culture.
Because if Peter Parker's not fucking a girl,
well, I have to know. I have to know, Matt. Like,
Mary Jane is, that's why the character was written.
If you don't say it, Matt, if you don't say it, that means they're all straight, right? If you don't say it, you have to say they're gay. If you don't say it,
I don't know. I guess.
Sarcasm,
well, again, the only way you're going to be able to disarm a bomb is if we know what kind of sex you like. That's the only way we're going to know.
Well, he has to make out with a guy or a girl before he does it. You know what I mean?
Guy or girl, it doesn't matter. We have to know this in order for them to disarm a bomb.
How does that affect the story, Matt? Tell me. How does it affect the story?
It's so obvious. I mean, it's in all the books now. You got to just read it. I mean, when you read it, you'll understand that it just makes the stories so much better. Like, it changes how they drive cars. It changes how they get orders from the mail or the secret agents that they talk to, and it's truly remarkable. The way that they aim changes dramatically. Because they would hold a gun straight ahead and shoot, and now they hold a gun and straight ahead and shoot. I mean, it's dramatically different.
Are you done?
I could go on forever.
I know. That's why I'm asking, are you done now?
I'm just saying, I hope that the new generation enjoys knowing that how their characters have sex, because I'm sure based on that knowledge alone, it just makes the read so much more enjoyable.
I want people to know that Matt is not against gay characters in the world. He is against the fact that they're forcing it on for no apparent reason to forego a story that has
I think
nothing to do with
it goes deeper than that. It's the fact that for 30, 40 years, the fan base that has supported these properties are literally being told to F off, and it's not even a subtle F off. It's like a blatant in-your-face F off. And the thing is, like, if you're talking about true acceptance, then you make it something that everyone can accept. And what they're saying is, no, you have to accept this, and we're going to change everything. It doesn't matter if it's a sexual orientation, a crossover, transgender situation. It doesn't. I mean, like, for example, they even turned Doc Ock good, right? But even that didn't last.
No.
That didn't last. Because Doc Ock is a bad guy.
Right.
He is a bad guy. So, and they, that didn't last. It was some interesting story arcs, but it didn't last. You know what I mean? They're trying to make this stuff last, and they're catering to a new generation.
What makes you think they're trying to make this last?
Because it's everywhere. It's every character. At some point, it's just going to be that way. And what's interesting to me, and the funny part is, and we talked about this either in our last pod with cancel culture or otherwise.
Right.
The funny thing is, if you are trying to, generationally speaking, attention spans are less and less and less as we go. I mean, to the point where it's like non-existent now. You know what I mean? If you don't get their attention in the first 3 seconds, you're screwed as an advertiser. So I think it's fucking hilarious that these companies are still trying to cater to people that have attention spans that if you don't get them in the first 3 seconds, you're not getting them. Because even if you get their attention enough based on a cover, let's say of a gay Captain America, they're going to buy it based on the cover. Good for you. You got one sale. But then, and that's the people that buy it and don't, rip it off or get it some other way.
Right.
And then after that, you're lucky if they turn a couple of pages, read a couple of pages before they get bored. You know what I'm saying? And so you're alienating the people that would have read anything. And it's not a problem when you turn one because DC did it, and there's been gay characters in the comics in the past, so you can't make it a gay issue because there's been plenty of gay characters that have been known and loved throughout the comic industry for the past, like 20 years that I'm aware of, suggested or otherwise. And so my problem is when you blatantly go out and you're just trying to change things for the sake of changing it, it doesn't matter how you change it or why you change it, other than to just make a statement.
Right.
And,
Captain America can absolutely be gay. It's not that big of a deal. It's the fact that they totally blatantly just made him.
Then why is he wearing overalls?
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Like they blatantly. If randomly we had Chris Evans be gay in the movie, but it was like it was tastefully done. Maybe it wasn't Agent Carter.
Joel, are there gays in the military?
Yes.
Whether there's a don't ask, don't tell policy.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's not the fact.
Are there gays in the military?
It's not the fact that Captain America is gay.
Are there gays in the military?
Yes.
No, okay. There's gays in the military. So if I'm gay and I go and enlist, right?
You're gonna wear overalls.
And I see them, and when they hand out my military garb, I'm just getting overalls to protect myself. No. Everyone else gets their BDUs.
No,
and
I was trying to trade like you would not. we would not have an issue. You would not have no issue if they flat out just made Captain America gay and they just kept him how he was because that's how he was. He was a militant. And that's like his storyline. But now they're trying to force this like. He is gay. He looks gay. We got to know that he's gay. It's like, why do you got to know that? Why do we have to know that to further the storyline? Yeah, maybe you can have him have a gay experience, or you can have he can be gay in the comic series, but he can still be Captain America. He doesn't need to be in this.
Right.
He doesn't need to look like a punk.
There's been a lot of gay men I known that.
If you want that character to look like that,
are the manliest men I know.
If you want that character to look like that, make another fucking character. Don't make it Captain America. That's not Captain America. Captain America stands for America, and that character right there doesn't stand for America.
But it goes back to woke culture. It goes back to woke culture. I mean, I actually stopped reading and buying books when comics for all those people that are gonna try to make jokes. Right around the time they did Schism and X-Men, and that was a story that I thought was very interesting because Wolverine and Cyclops were very close, and then because their bond, their rivalry, kind of came to a perfect understanding, but then something happens and they divide, and it's a difference of opinion, and Cyclops, which was one of my favorite characters, goes down a really dark road, and he becomes more like a Magneto type, and Wolverine, ironically, becomes like a Cyclops type and a Charles Xavier type. Oh,
interesting.
And during that period, they have a whole new generation of students, and where I thought it was good, call it woke, call it otherwise, is I appreciated it because the old generation still existed. It stayed true to the characters. They didn't turn gay. They didn't do this. They didn't have transgender issues. They developed. Some were positive developments, some were negative developments, but they developed. And then what happened was, because they were the old characters that we grew up and loved were still around, they were older, but they introduced new generations of kids, new classes, right? The next generation of students. And those students, you could argue it, you could say whatever you want, but I would have called them, back then I would have called them woke. What is standard today, woke. But you know what, I liked it because it made sense. Younger generations are feeling this way and are this. So I get it. I understand catering to it in that way, but they had a whole new class of kids that were woke, and I'm okay with that. And it was funny to watch the older generation dealing with these woke kids with powers, and like, that's not how we did it in my day, like Wolverine. But then these younger woke kids are just being crazy and being on their phones and texting, whatever, TikToking, and it made sense. It fit the story. But just taking that and running with it would have been awesome. But now it's just like, no, we're just going to make everything woke. Everything's just now from here on out. It's always been woke. And that doesn't work. You can't just do that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work. And you're going to lose money. You're going to lose money. And you're going to blame it on whatever you want to blame it on. But at the end of the day, you're going to lose money. And it does an injustice to gay people everywhere that want a gay Captain America, because you're right. And I said it, a few moments ago. It's like, I know a lot of gay men that are like the coolest, manliest guys I know. And so when I see that, I'm like, that is not the representation that I personally think. I've seen gay men like that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I know a lot of gay men that look like that probably wouldn't give a shit if the world burned.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's a difference, It's more than just it goes back to like respecting yourself and respecting your body a little bit. And if you're just more about showboating you're more, that's a narcissistic look. That's a narcissistic feel. Like, this is how I am. I'm free. I just like this is how I am. I don't care what you say. Like, that, in my opinion, is like the reason why people dislike this drawing, is because it's supposed to be, you're not a narcissist. You're somebody that is selfless. You go out and you do things on your own. The people, like the gay community, a lot of them that are still in the closet, to me, that's a very sad struggle. That's a struggle that, like, in my opinion, is like the ultimate sacrifice. Does that make sense? Like, it's not about them. You know what I mean? Whether they're persecuted or not, I feel like that's like an internal struggle. Like, I'm willing to bite my tongue. I'm willing to sacrifice how I feel for the quote unquote greater good, whether, not saying in real life, but like if in a comic book form, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying Captain America has to be in the closet gay, but what I'm saying is you can still be gay and not be narcissistic about it. Does that make sense?
Yes. Do we know if this is just a drawing or this is what they actually plan on doing?
Well, I mean, in the past they've done stuff like this and carried through with it. I actually don't know officially with this one. But obviously that's the other thing too, is these are test market things.
Right.
They send them out there.
They did the same.
They hear the internet explode and see if they're ready for it. You know what I mean?
They did the same thing with saying Captain America was a Hydra agent in disguise this whole time, and then they came back and said, "No, we were joking." Ha 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 ha.
Right. No, I mean, like, DC, what they did, it was a little different. Like, Green Lantern was gay, but it was like an alternate Earth. You know what I mean? But I appreciated that book because I think it was like Earth 1 or Earth 2. Maybe it was Earth 2. I can't remember the name of the book. But he was gay. Green Lantern was gay. They came out right away and made him. They showed it in the the illustrations and all this other things. But he did not dress like this Captain America. You know what I mean? He still had a Green Lantern outfit, and he still was very natural, and he wasn't narcissistic, and it was a love, like, to me, because I think his love interest dies. I have to go back and read it, but I think his love interest dies. And again, that's more of an internal struggle. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I appreciated that. So getting back to Captain America: Winter Soldier.
No, that's over. We're not.
Yeah, it's over. That's not what we're talking about.
That's not what we're talking about anymore. Apparently, it's Captain America and that drawing that came out. That
because it's so ridiculous.
I can't even. How are you going to tie that back into Winter Soldier, Matt? Explain that to me.
Well, because if we're going to go that route and be woke and everyone has 3-second attention span, then they need to make this Falcon Captain America, and they got to turn him gay with a nose ring and overalls. Because if Disney and Marvel are going to push this agenda because the younger generations want it, then they need to put it on Disney Plus right now, and they need to show it right now. Why are you dragging your asses on it if this is truly how you feel and believe? If you really feel like this is what everybody wants to see and do, that's fine. And when I say see and do, I mean take timeless characters, and it doesn't matter what you do to the character, but just alter it in such a way that is not the same at all. I mean, to me, what bothers me the most about this character, the drawing, it irritates me, is the narcissistic look. I don't like the narcissistic look, okay? I don't care if the character's gay, but I don't want to see someone going to battle in a comic book in overalls, you know what I mean? Or a Speedo, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
it doesn't make any sense to me.
Isn't there a character that goes in? Well, unless it's its own character, like that you create a whole new character to do that, like if you want to create that character that look like that, that's fine. Just don't create it as a character that's already in existence. Again, it goes back to the fact, why are you trying to reinvent this character in such a dramatic way?
Captain America is the ultimate Boy Scout, right?
Ultimate.
If you want to take down the ultimate Boy Scout and what America stands for, you fuck with Captain America. You make him narcissistic.
Right. He's not a Captain America anymore. Like, he's not Captain. He's not
serious. He doesn't. Yeah, but you know what? Maybe it is reflecting of America, because when people don't, respect the flag anymore, and the people literally dying daily fighting for your freedoms, and they're in sporting events getting paid millions, and I get why they have causes, but there's better ways to fight for those causes than to just showboat for 2 seconds in front of the national anthem. You know what I mean? There's way better ways you could do something.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Right. So I guess the problem I have is the fact that is the new America. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe my problem is the way America is now. And it has nothing to do with comic books or Captain America being straight or gay or otherwise. It's just the fact that everyone cares about themselves. It's not about coming together. It's about tearing apart. And that picture to me illustrates that, like, the Boy Scout that once would do anything for everyone just now looks like some narcissistic guy that wants to get the most likes on his Facebook page,
Instagram, or
whatever.
TikTok.
You're so dumb. But you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I have no desire. If I wanted to see that shit, I would spend my whole day on TikTok. I don't want to see it. The world sucks so much as it is. It's just like, I just want to read a book where good wins without looking like an ass.
Well, you're going to have to read those books before cancel culture cancels them all.
That is so confusing. But somehow I can see cancel culture canceling their culture.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, too, AT&T's not going to put up with that. You know what I mean? Like, DC, I think, is going to be in some serious trouble if they're not already.
DC, I feel like, has been in a lot of trouble for a while. Think about it. Like, they haven't been... I don't know. Maybe I just don't like DC. Come on, they had to release a 4-hour-long movie of the Justice League just to, like, hold some grounds, and I think fans still don't even like it.
Oh, my gosh. You know what the best part about that is? So, you remember we were talking about Sonic the Hedgehog and how, like... they listened to the fans and it was a successful thing afterwards.
Well, we're still unsure if it was like a huge political ploy or not. We had a whole conversation about that.
But regardless, they changed it.
They still changed it, yeah.
So Zack Snyder, right? They released this cut, right? And for the most part, the fan base says it's a lot better than the original, right? The fan base, the original fan base.
4 hours long. We're gone.
Right. But just follow me here, right? It's more successful than anything else Warner Brothers been pumping out at that time. Okay?
Okay.
Warner Brothers, because the general fan base hated it. I mean, liked it. Because the regular fan base liked it. Warner Brothers is adamant, like, oh, no. Too much of the original fans like it, so we're not going to carry on with this whatsoever. We're going to stick with our woke agenda.
What?
Yeah.
What are they doing now?
Yeah, they're like, they just did it to make profit. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, it's just a profit thing.
Yeah.
So, but that's it. That's all it was. It's like, okay, we gave you your little piece. Thanks for your money, suckers from the old generation. We're still going to go with our woke agenda. Whereas if they had just said, hey, how about we jump off of this money train and continue it, we can still introduce woke ideas, but keep going with the storyline.
Do it fucking tastefully. You don't need to just jump into where it's obvious. No, they don't.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I mean,
well, they think it's Hollywood, the new gold, the new gold rush. This is how they're gonna do it.
I would say too, it would work. If you were a boomer generation, which these idiots making decisions are, if you're a boomer generation and you were raised, go to the young kids. We talked about this with our cancel culture thing. It's cater to the young. We've always done it for years and years. It's always worked. It's always paid off. They don't understand this time around. It's not going to work. They do not have the attention span. These are not lifers. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna be wearing Batman T-shirts in their 80s.
You're not gonna have these kids for long. You're gonna for the 2 seconds, and then you're going to alienate yourself from the people you had, and then they're not going to
Right.
wear your shirts at 80 years old either now. You
Yeah,
pretty much
that's what I'm saying. Like, Hollywood is literally destroying itself from the inside. They're catering to individuals that are working in Hollywood, because you and I know it takes, like I said, we said it before too, it takes all kinds that work Hollywood, and ironically, Hollywood is a very nice, diverse. I don't care what anybody says. If you work in the business, you friggin' know. I've never walked in some place where I didn't see a transgender, gay, bisexual, any kind of race, religion. They're all there. I mean, I've never walked in to a room with a whole bunch of just white people. And if you want to talk executives, maybe that's where it's different, possibly. But on the average, what you would consider the blue collar worker, every single one of them, like, I've never walked in where it's been dominated. Not once. Not once. So they're catering to that generation, and I get it. And some people might feel good because they're getting representation. And I will say commercials have done a good job. You can see more diversity in commercials. Like, you see a lot of interracial couples, and you see a lot of more Asian and black people. I get it. But you know, like, but to change out anything and everything else, it's not going to last. I mean, if you're talking about mixing with recipes that have been around for decades, it's not going to work.
Well, I've told you this last week, and I mentioned that they're going to try this bullshit, and they're going to keep pushing on it, and like I said, and we're going to see what's really going to hold out in the next 10 years. If they're going to float or swim kind of thing. Right now, like, they're not easing into anything, Matt. They're jumping right into this deep end, and they're going like, it's going to make all the money, and like whatever execs or whatever
they got
people
the
they have
card
up there.
that
They think
you're a bigot or racist.
They think,
so
yeah,
they think
they're gonna do well. So,
well, don't forget too.
We'll see a change. We'll probably see a change in 10 years, or we'll see more of the same.
Well, I feel bad. I know we're running on time, but I think it's important. I'm going to stretch it just a little bit more, because now what these boomers in charge, the executive boomers, are doing is they're, like YouTube, for example, they're removing the dislike comments. Like, it's not even an option anymore.
No, that's been a thing.
Well, no, removing it. I'm saying you don't even have the option anymore to start.
What?
Yeah, they're starting. Like, Kathleen Kennedy is the first person at Lucasfilm to start doing that shit, because people were going to their sites and making their negative comments on everything, and so she went to YouTube and said, remove it. So, I mean, the companies can still see it, right? So if you make a negative comment, the companies can still see it, but the average person on YouTube cannot.
That's called like construction criticism, and then it's not fair, because then you're not seeing the real reactions of people.
Well, like, what it is they're trying to once again crush public opinion. So, like, for example, if the whole world is against it, you will think you're the only one, because you don't see everybody else.
And if you're weak-minded, like, most of the Gen Zers, did I say that? They're going to think that they can't be like themselves. They have to run with the crowd and like it like everybody else then.
Right. Well, if it's only likes, then everybody likes it, right?
Right.
You can't.
But if you're the one that thinks you hate it, and you're like, wait, no, and not many people share my opinion, then I must be wrong, and I'm a Gen Zer, and I don't get how the world works. I have Tide Pods to eat, so I'm gonna go kill myself.
Well, don't say that.
I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
But
we do not condone that at all.
No. But it's so messed up. But Zack Snyder, there was a big controversy with Geeks and Gamers with him, and the idea was that they were doing a fundraiser for suicide prevention, and then he flat out said, I'm not associated with them. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, Hollywood doesn't care. They just don't care. It doesn't matter what you try to do. They don't care. They just don't care. So for me, it's been abundantly clear. It's ironic. It's like, just let them eat themselves alive. Let them do whatever they want. Let them make their bed with people with attention spans that have 3 seconds, because they're going to fail. And I hope the real people, like people that read Forbes, the people that have a big stake in the companies, the CEOs over at AT&T, and I mean, Disney's fucked because Iggy Poo just doesn't seem to care. He's all about it. I'm telling you right now, these companies are going to take a dive, and good thing they've got people like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer in charge, because that's the only way they're going to get their companies bailed out. As long as they're there. But I mean, that can't last forever, because they're pissing everybody off so much that, I mean, their own governor in California, I mean, they're trying to get them out. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep pissing people off. It's going to be the French Revolution, okay? These people will not protect you forever. And at some point, you're not going to have the money to back yourselves anymore. And at some point, even if you own everything, like the majority of the United States food supply, I'm talking to you, Bill Gates, you know what? People will find a way, man. They'll become cannibals. I mean, it's like, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh,
like,
shit. That's a
you cannot piss people off and expect nothing in return. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just not going to work that way. It doesn't matter. People don't need an iPhone to survive. You tell them that they need it, but they actually do not need it to survive. It doesn't start a fire.
And you don't
know
need,
what I mean? It doesn't feed you.
You don't need internet. It's very convenient.
You don't need internet.
But you don't need
it sucks. Yeah, it sucks to, and
we've gotten
you
so
brought
used
that
to
on
it.
yourself.
We've gotten so used
yeah,
to
you brought it on yourself
Mm-hmm.
for getting used to it. But the reality is you don't need it. So there's other ways to do it. So just think about that for a little while.
Well, I'm gonna say, yeah,
Falcon Winter Soldier. I'm sure it's a great show.
great show.
I have noted. Yeah, I don't know. Just without giving anything away, Joel. The first 2 episodes, honestly, is it got the feel like they're just gonna drag this shit along like they did with WandaVision and then do some bullshit reveal? Or are you actually, because I have a hard time trusting your judgment sometimes, are they actually showing you stuff in the episode where you go back and say, I gotta watch that again, that scene was awesome? Like Captain America Winter Soldier 2, the movie, I don't care how dumb certain parts of it is. I always love the scene where he's on the motorcycle and he's fighting and he jumps on the helicarrier or whatever, like that plane, and he's like holding the helicopter or something with his arm, like he's being real badass and he's holding the deck and the helicopter, like, and you're like, you see Chris Evans, you could tell he worked out right before it, roided up, like he looks awesome. A treat for females and men alike
I
to
take
watch.
offense
And it's like,
to what you
know what I mean?
said.
You should, because you were defending WandaVision for 8 weeks, and then at the end you said you didn't like it. So
I can change my opinions on things. I think that the first 2 episodes have been a great continuation of what you've watched in those movies. That's what I think they are. They have
all right.
They have that feel. They also have the feel that you're learning a whole new character development. You're getting a feel to who these 2 characters are more, because they're also not that they were side characters in the movies. They weren't main characters.
Is it a Rush Hour feel where like 2 different worlds collide and they come together?
Yes, a little bit, because you're dealing with, you got Winter Soldier, who was Captain America's right-hand man in the World War II. And then you have Falcon, who was Captain America's right-hand man during his movies.
So they're
Modern
fighting
day.
over who
It's
liked Captain America more.
It's almost like it has that feel. They you can tell they hate it. There's just like in the movie, you have that animosity. They don't like each other, but they need each other, kind of thing. They don't want to admit they need each other, but they do. So you have that feel too. So you get to see a nice new a new development in their characters, which is a nice thing. That's what you get. It almost feels like it could be it feels like you're watching a movie again. Every time it ends, you're like, of course, there's their cliffhangers. It's a TV show, and they're trying to push a plot from some other comics that I didn't read myself personally. But it does have that feel. They're trying to develop Falcon into something more. So it is something nice to witness and watch, and it makes you question. But will this progress anything? Maybe not. Will it personally? Did we have to get this TV show? Probably not, to be honest. I don't think it's going to be anything wowing or anything, but I'm only looking at that way just because of how I witnessed WandaVision.
Sure. No, I understand.
So
let me ask.
So since I don't have that expectation anymore, it's a lot enjoyable to watch, and knowing that you're watching development of these 2 characters, which is a lot nicer to know. I'm not looking for Easter eggs.
Right. You're already
I'm not
disappointed, so you don't have to worry about it.
I'm already like, I already know it's not going to be anything huge, because they already proved to me WandaVision they're not going to do anything huge. It's going to be some minor little things. So it's nice to actually just concentrate on their character development.
So
which is nice to see.
Would you say that it's safe to say that Disney Plus basically bullshitted us, and that all we're getting is another version of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I think, yeah, more or less. I think it is. You're not going to get, you can probably, as soon as all these series comes out, as soon as WandaVision, Loki, and Winter Soldier are all out on Disney Plus, and they finally release whatever next movie it is, who knows if it's going to be Black Widow or fucking Doctor Strange at this point. But when they release that, and then, you know, you're not going to feel like, maybe you're going to want to watch the TV shows, but you're not going to need to. They're still making that distinction just like any other company has done, and it's annoying. I thought maybe they were going to be different, that you don't have to watch these TV shows to understand what's going to go on in the movies. If they were smart, they would have done it some way, because they've always said, like, oh, the Avenger movies are standalones. Bullshit. Can you really watch Avengers 1, 2, 3, and 4 without watching any other Marvel movie and understand what's going on, Matt? Probably not.
Yeah.
So, but if you watch all 23 fucking Marvel movies, or when it hits 30 movies, could you watch all those movies without these two series? Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. No, that's unfortunate.
So that's how I'm feeling about it. They had a chance, but so since I know that's not what they're doing, it's much more enjoyable to watch these characters as they are, and it is enjoyable to have these characters interact, because it's better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because you got no named characters. At least you're getting the characters from the show, so it's nice to watch that unfold and see them develop, and it is nice to see that. It is nice to see that, to be honest.
All right, since this has gone way over, let's just call this a special. I wanted to bring up one other thing real quick that was happening with Disney, the classic hypocritical Disney. So Disney, with all of their old fanboy hating, they just released what they call the vintage collection of Star Wars on Disney Plus, and it was hilarious for me to hear younger generations on YouTube talk about it, like, oh, these obscure things. And as they said the words obscure, they mentioned obscure things, meaning, like, so for example, they said obscure things like the Ewok Adventure. Any Star Wars kid that grew up in the 80s watched the Caravan of Courage and the Battle for Endor. These were Ewok made-for-TV movies that took place. I don't know when they were filmed. They could have been after Return of the Jedi, filming-wise. I honestly don't remember. But any kid growing up, because you only had 3 channels back then, I know it's hard to believe, they were specials. That means adult shows got kicked off television so we could watch them. So it was a big deal. It was a family event. You sat down and you watched it.
The kids won't understand that at all about TV specials.
They don't understand it, but I'm just telling you it was a big fucking deal, okay?
No,
Imagine all your streaming services took everything, all the content off for a day, and then just put one movie on all the streaming services. Netflix had it, Prime had it, Hulu had it. Nothing else.
Kids
was
won't
watching
understand
that.
They won't understand.
They won't understand it. But anyways, but what I thought was interesting is they purposely called it vintage Star Wars, and even the logos that they did.
Well, it is vintage.
It is vintage, but hear me out. Vintage means you're catering to the old fan base.
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right. So if you're all about this new culture and new woke stuff and the High Republic and all this other shit, and you're telling us how bad we are, why are you catering to us still? Because you need our money. You want us to stay loyal. But the reality is that's what they're doing. And even the logo was like from like vintage toy logos like Hasbro and Kenner used to make around each film. And one of the shorts, they call it the Loyal Wookiee or some shit. It is, anybody else that knows, it's from the Star Wars Christmas special. They actually took the first animated clip of Boba Fett ever made for the Christmas special that aired in the early 80s, maybe in the 70s. Actually, it might have been 70s that it came out. And they called it something else. They called it the Loyal Wookiee, but it's actually a clip from the Star Wars holiday special. So they can't even give credit where credit's due. And if they have that clip, then that means they have the whole special.
Of course they
have all of it. But they didn't post that. I don't know if that's at the request of Lucas. I don't know.
Is it
George
on?
Lucas hated that
special.
special.
Is it on Disney Plus right now, all that shit?
It's on right now. Yeah, and they put the old 1980s. So here's the other thing. They put the older 1980s Ewok cartoon that was a Saturday morning cartoon. Again, kids don't know what that is. But it was a Saturday morning cartoon. They put that show on.
Kids won't know what Saturday morning cartoons are either.
But they didn't do but they didn't do the droids Saturday morning, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if it was because of I don't remember his name. If it's Bill Burt or what it was, Burt. I can't remember his name, but he was the sound engineer for the original Star Wars movies, and he came up with the idea for the droids cartoon. And it makes me wonder if, like, the Lucas loyalist, meaning like Lucas loyal to Lucas, George Lucas, are not going to get rewarded. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Because that show should have been released too. I don't know why it wouldn't have been, but they didn't do it. Unless it doesn't go with the narrative of the trilogy that Disney's now trying to make. So I find that because it wouldn't tie in with Rogue One or something like that.
Like I've said before, and I've said during this pod and pause before this, I'm very curious the road this is going to turn into the next 10 years. Which route is going to go? Which route's going to dry up? I mean, it's a river. It was a giant lake, Matt, and it spawned off. It hit at one fork, it hit another fork. It has hit multiple forks, and eventually this river is going to dry up.
Yeah.
But which one is going to dry up and which one's going to keep going? That's the question.
Right. Well, I can tell you right now, if you're a streaming service, talking to you, Paramount Plus.
Oh, my God.
Hold on to your content and have all of it readily available. Because if you don't even have your own content complete and organized, why would people stay with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you buy Paramount Plus to watch MacGyver, I'm not saying MacGyver as an example. There are shows. This MacGyver may not be one of them, but let's just say, for the sake of argument, you don't have season 4, or you only have 3 of the episodes of season 4. I mean, it's like, how stupid is that? You're the parent streaming service provider. You should have all of your content. If you're going to lease it out,
who even thought, like, the Paramount CEO is like, hey, let's do a streaming service. All right, sir. But we don't have the rights to all our content right now because other companies have it right now because we spawned it out because we needed money.
Desperate times.
Well, yeah. Well, what do we have? Well, we have the first 2 seasons of Brady Bunch and the last 3 seasons. We don't have the middle seasons? No, we don't. Screw it. It'll be fine.
But, you're catering to that older generation. The older generation doesn't care. As long as they've got every episode of SpongeBob, that's all that matters. Because the kids that grew up with SpongeBob are now the people running things. We should listen to them.
Oh, my God. I guess that sounded like him. I never watched SpongeBob. I thought it was a horrible show. I did want to watch the musical, but I don't want to watch the show ever. I don't want to spoil. You did? Was it good?
It was what you would expect it to be.
Oh, then I don't want to see it.
So, yeah, I mean, Hollywood's going to destroy itself from within. It's going to be a beautiful thing to watch. I mean,
and then it's going to give us a chance to create our movie and our content and our shows, and our
content will be a lot easier.
We'll be we
won't be releasing. I can't wait till they're so stupid that they release a movie on their streaming services, but it's only the first 5 minutes, and then you skip 20 minutes, and then the rest of the film, because 20 minutes of the movie rights went to somebody else.
Oh my God. They're also being really stupid too, because since they're not releasing in the movie theaters anymore right away, and they're going right to these streaming services, that opens it up directly to pirating much easier and it's easier to pirate your shit. Like, how do you stop that? They've been trying to stop it for years, and you can't. And you just made it 1,000 times easier for all these services to get your shit for free when you put it on a streaming service. HBO Max, Paramount Plus, all your shit is easy to get. If you had it in movie theaters first, all you were getting were cam versions of it, which people were still doing because you can't, no matter how hard you try and how many laws you put against it, it's still going to happen. But you just made it easier. So much easier. Yeah. What do you?
Well, it's a good thing younger generations are not working in these fields.
Well, the thing is, the younger generations aren't probably taking the product. You know what I mean? Because they're so on their streaming services, and they're so about their, I want to pay my subscriptions. I don't really want to own products anymore. So I doubt they're actually the generation pirating any of this stuff because they're just too lazy. You know what I mean? Like, it takes too long to download. So why do they want to get it? They don't want to, they don't. I got to get what? I got to do what? No, I'm not going to do that. That takes too long. I'm just going to pay a subscription service, and that's what I'm going to do. And majority of them do that. Absolutely. But I'm just saying that a lot of people are still taking their product. I still remember a news article when Game of Thrones and Walking Dead were on their top of their game, before Walking Dead is just it seems like a repeat of shit over and over again, and they strayed too far from the comics, and now the main actors are leaving, and then you have Game of Thrones that just ended. It just ended. I'm gonna say it just ended, but they were on top of their game back in the day, and I remember they were saying, like, people were asking, like, do you care if people pirate your TV show? And they were like, no. Both companies, AMC and HBO, said, no, we do not care if Walking Dead and Game of Thrones are being pirated. Because when you pirate it, it means you are giving it to your next friend, and you're giving it to your next friend, and you're creating more and more fans, which is a good statement. But that's not the case when Wonder Woman comes on HBO Max. Not the case when Godzilla and King Kong come out on HBO Max. People are just taking it, and you're losing money, and it's obvious, and it's obvious. And maybe movie theaters, maybe you hate the movie theaters right now. Maybe AMC is on your shit list. Maybe you want to get rid of them. But you know what? They're your only source for the golden goose. Maybe you should release your own movie theater. Maybe it should be Paramount Theaters.
Oh, God, no. Have you seen their studios? They got so many broken windows they haven't fixed.
God.
I wouldn't want to go to that theater.
You're just going down this road. You're making it easier for them. It's like you might as well just like open the vault and say, fuck it, we don't care anymore. Take what you want.
And you know what? Here's the other thing, too. Virus or no virus, right? I'm sure there'll be some other pandemic scare the bejesus out of everyone and keep them locked up in their homes. But until the meantime, if there's an opportunity to go out into the world, dude, even as a young kid, going to the theater for a date alone is
people want to.
It's fun.
But that's the thing.
It's fun.
People want to, Matt. That's the thing. Like, if this pandemic has shown anything, Americans don't want to be indoors. They don't want to stay put. It's proof that our country alone has proven that we can't stay put even for 2 weeks and do nothing. We will have to
go watch a film.
We have to go out. So
we won't pay $30 extra on your streaming service, but we will go and pay $30 into the dangerous environment to watch it.
So your streaming service is kudos, and it's great platform, but at the same time, people will still pay to go see the movies. Period.
Right, because it's the experience. It's not your film. I hate to burst your bubble. It's not about.
And
your
that's
film.
why the movie. That's why Blockbuster and shit like that went under. Is because it wasn't just the streaming services put a nail in the coffin. Yeah, there's other things. You watch the documentary on Blockbuster. It's great. I love it. It's not just Netflix, but it was more to it. But in the end, the streaming services is the take home from what Blockbuster and all those home movie rental places were, but. That's what destroyed that. It's not going to destroy the home movie. It's not, or not the home, the theater, the going out experience, the having the popcorn, the hot dogs, going to parking, getting reserved seats, having the, previews play in front of you and all that, the whole experience. And then, having that asshole in front of you laughing at the wrong times, or the person to the right of you that's eating their food loudly. Those are experiences you'll never have. Or
it's called human nature, like humanity. You want to
experience
and to share,
and you want to experience it. Like I saw Endgame for the second time with my friend. His wife didn't see it, so we went to go see it when we were in San Francisco, and it was Endgame. It was in theaters. It was like 3 weeks after release, still full theater, and it was just great. I mean, even though I hate people screaming in theater, which I'm glad I already saw the movie, so people were screaming
3 weeks later, though.
Yeah, people were still screaming when certain parts are happening, and you're just like. You get the feels because everyone in that same room is feeling what you're feeling. Even though I hate homeless people and I probably would wish all of them to disappear and never be seen again, but
the snap.
But it's still very much that experience you're experiencing with everybody. And there was a YouTube video on that too, where a bar was playing Infinity War, and everyone's just drinking, have a good time. It's a crowded bar. We're talking pre-pandemic, crowded, like hundreds of people, right? And all of a sudden, it's playing on all the screens, big screen TVs, and Thor lands in Wakanda, and everyone erupts in the bar. Everyone erupts.
Yeah.
Just imagine that.
Yeah.
So you cannot replace that experience with streaming services. So
and you know what? A 3-second attention span person that believes all the shows about hiking and climbing and shit, like taking their 4-wheeler and going into the mountains every weekend after a nice long week at work, Guess what? Nobody fucking does that. People go out occasionally, you know what I mean? But the people that are hardcore about that, it's a different situation. There's people that go out and do it, but they do it because they actually enjoy it.
Right.
It's not like something that everyone strives to do. Okay.
And it goes to the same thing. Like, Matt, you and I just had drinks at home, right? Probably cost maybe dollars on the penny, right?
Right.
Maybe. But you go to a bar, you pay for it. That's not wine. That looks like whiskey.
Keep going.
Anyways, you go to a bar. Yeah, you're paying $8 for a beer, but you're paying for the experience. You're going out, and people do it all the time. That human connection, the human thing. Humans generally, Matt and I are probably not very much group animals, but human nature is a group species. We're groups. We want to be in groups. We're social animals. We want to interact. We want to do all that. Some of the people I know
look at this
don't want
pandemic.
to.
How many people are going on spring break right now?
Everybody.
And causing waves,
Everybody.
right? So
they did it last year too. Remember, they did it last year when we first started the pandemic. So
right. But what I'm saying is, if those individuals are going to risk themselves and other people's lives to go to spring break, I'm pretty sure they'll enjoy going to the movies too.
Right. Exactly. So save yourself $1. I appreciate you releasing it on HBO Max and getting it out there now, and we get to enjoy it now, which is great. But just remember, that's not how it should be. You should probably release it in the theaters, and if anything else, just to protect yourself more, but also for the experience. And I hope, God willing, they don't kill the movie theater experience, because I want to be able to take my kids there, and I want to be
an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur will pick up on it. Somebody smart enough.
Let the movie theaters die, because then Matt, we can open our own.
That's fine. We can do that.
We can do that.
It'll be a very elite experience.
Absolutely.
And if we can't get Hollywood to play ball with their features, we'll just make our own. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Free market. We can do what we want, and cell phones will be checked in at the door. And if you have a 3-second extension span, you're out. We have no tolerance for you shit. And if you're between the ages of Generation Z, you're out. We don't serve you. We have the right to refuse service to anyone. And between these ages, even early millennials, you're out.
Well, see, actually, I would disagree with you, Joel. I just like Jesus, I would welcome the sinners. You know what I'm saying? You'll turn the point I'm making is,
you called them all
I feel
sinners.
like they need happy Easter, everyone. They need to come in. I'm sure most of them do anyways.
I'm sure
they're very outgoing.
They're also
very very narcissistic.
They're also very two-sided too. They're also going to say one thing and then do the other. So
right, but I would encourage them to go do those things, because it's like we talked about. They don't know what Saturday mornings are. They don't know what it's like to have 3 channels. And in a weird sort of way, the discipline of that, they're deprived of it. Like having to wait for your shows. That's not a thing today. But there was something that made that special. Now, granted, I will say the streaming service, we were bitching about it with WandaVision, making us wait a week. But the problem with that show is it sucked. Like we waited a year for it. And then when it got here, it sucked. So we technically did wait. The anticipation built. But when it came, it was just not worth the wait. We realized it's not worth it. But, when you know that something's coming every week for a whole year, it's a different story, But, like I said, entertainment companies need to get their shit together and stop pushing agendas, because – just recognize you have multiple audiences. Some people are going to like certain things. Some people aren't. My biggest gripe, as always, is changing something just for the sake of changing it. They think bad publicity or good publicity doesn't matter. It's all the same. It caters to their needs. But I don't think in this time period it's going to work. What worked in past generations is not going to work this time. And they're going to find out the hard way, because people don't have the patience and the attention span. When I say people, I mean average consumers. They don't have the patience and the attention span to pay for this amount of stuff and to keep track of like 9 different services. And, it's not going to be worth the hassle. It's not going to be worth the hassle. They don't watch it. They're going to realize like I'm doing other things outside of my life and it's not really offering me much. I'd rather just get rid of it. It's like cut the cable. Like there's a reason why people said cut the cable, because after a certain point the prices kept going up and they weren't even really offering anything. When you turn on TNT and you got like 9 episodes of Roseanne in a row, like, you know what I mean? Like you're not giving me what I wanted anymore. It's not the same. So that's it. If there's no variety, what's the fucking point?
What is the point? And I want to say that as a great stopping point to finish our 1-hour special of the Entertainment Banter.
About Falcon
and the Winter Soldier and a bunch of other stuff.
So, as always, thank you for listening to Entertainment Banter. My name is Matt.
And my name is Joel, who is straight. Making sure you know, and I'm done.